Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. So we're all aware that Israel and Hamas are at war with each other. Hamas basically wants to destroy Israel completely. And we have this new factor to consider, which is Hezbollah. Now, if you're not familiar with Hezbollah, let's take a look here real quick. Hezbollah opposes Israel and Western powers operating in the Middle East and functions as a proxy of its biggest benefactor, Iran. Receiving military training and hundreds of millions of dollars annually from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Hezbollah was initially made up of fighters recruited from various Shia factions that had resisted the Israel invasion of Lebanon. And then for its first nearly 2 decades, Hezbollah fought to push the Israel Defense Forces from southern Lebanon by attacking Israeli military targets and civilians. Israel withdrew from Lebanon in 2000. It also formed a political party called the Loyalty to the Resistance Bloc, which participated in its first election in 1992. Hezbollah's political wing is now a leading political player in the country, including in the current parliament. Hezbollah and Hamas, a predominantly Sunni group with a militant wing that carried out the October 7th attack on Israel, have had a turbulent relationship in the past. The two have been divided by sectarian differences and rival regional alliances. But even before they began to restore relations, in the late 2010s, after Hamas renewed its connection with Iran, they were united in their opposition to the existence of the State of Israel. So notably out of that Hezbollah is a proxy of its biggest benefactor, Iran, right? Iran gives them hundreds of millions of dollars annually. So let's keep that in mind, okay? So let's go back over here. Hezbollah's threat to Israel and the world. Terror group chief warns of further escalation on Lebanese front and says Hamas's war with Jewish enemy is now on more than one front in first speech since October 7th atrocities. The powerful group's leader, Saeed Hassan Nasrallah, praised the Al-Aqsa flood, the name used by Hamas for its vicious assault last month, and said the glorious jihadi operation had led to an earthquake in the Jewish state, revealed the weakness of Israel and its army, and established a new historical phase in the battle. Okay, I guess that's what they're going to claim, but I don't think that's really true. Any escalation, he said, depends on the events in Gaza and Israel's actions. Quote, "We will not be limited to this," he said, suggesting an escalation was possible while also telling the U.S. that his Iran-backed group was ready to face its warships. "Your fleet in the Mediterranean do not scare us. We are ready to face the fleet you threaten us with," Nasrallah said, addressing the U.S., "Whoever wants to prevent a regional war must quickly stop the aggression on Gaza. The United States impedes a ceasefire and the end of aggression," he added. It was the leader's first speech since October 7th massacre and raised fears his terrorist group is set to enter the conflict and spark a wider war in the Middle East. World War III. At least another grain of sand to it. The 63-year-old addressed thousands in Beirut from an unknown location. Celebratory gunshots rang out as people waving Hezbollah's yellow flag packed into a square in the city's suburbs to watch the broadcast. In his wide-ranging address, he called the war in Gaza decisive and said that there were 2 goals: to stop aggression against Gaza and to ensure victory for Hamas, which means that basically everyone in Israel is gone, right? From the river to the sea. Okay, so we get it now, right? Hezbollah is threatening to escalate the war over there, right? Now remember, Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran. Now let me show you this. The implication of Iran's inclusion in BRICS. Now, if you guys don't know what BRICS is consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And it has extended invitations to 6 developing countries: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Ethiopia, Egypt, Argentina, and the United Arab Emirates. To join its ranks, the new bloc would collectively represent 46% of the world's population and contribute 37% of the world's GDP when measured at purchasing power parity. Which means to me, this seems like a NATO rival, right? As stated by the South African president during the BRICS summit held in Johannesburg from August 22nd to the 24th, the 6 new candidates are set to officially become members on January 1st, 2024. That's less than 2 months away. While the bloc as a whole perceives this move as an effort to reshuffle a global order that they deem outdated, Brazil and India maintain closer ties with the West, while China and Russia may interpret the role of the bloc differently, particularly in the current context. Amid escalating tensions between Russia and the West due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the deteriorating relations between the U.S., Beijing, and Moscow are now amplifying their efforts to position BRICS as the counterforce against the Western Bloc. The inclusion of the anti-American Iranian government within BRICS could be interpreted as a direct result of these efforts. This article was written at the end of August, so none of the attacks in Israel had happened yet whenever this was written. So just keep that in mind. Russia's stance is unequivocal. It is locked in a high-stake confrontation with the West, particularly the United States. The Ukrainian conflict has further deepened ties between Russia and Iran, evidently in their military cooperation, such as Iran supplying unmanned combat aerial vehicles to Russia. On August 26th, in response to some reports indicating that Washington has requested the Iranian government to halt the sale of drones to Moscow, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei stated there is no changes and cooperation with Iran will continue. We are independent states that do not succumb to the dictate of the United States and its satellites. On the same day, Iranian Defense Ministry spokesperson Reza remarked, none of the transactions regarding drones that have had with other countries, such as Russia, have been canceled. Despite international unrest and heightened civil struggles in Iran, which have raised questions about the system's legitimacy in their international level, have also chosen to extend its unwavering support to the Iranian government, aka Hezbollah, right? Isn't that how it funnels? To their military proxy in Hezbollah? So, as things progress closer and closer to January 1st, does this seem concerning to you guys? I'm not going to continue reading. I think you guys understand. I think you guys are connecting the dots that I was trying to connect here. And I could just be way off base, but it just seems like every country is positioning right now to go to battle. The United States and NATO, they want to protect the petrodollar, the value of the petrodollar. And here you have these BRICS nations literally about to have 50% of the buying power, right? Spending power in the world. That's concerning to me if you're an American and, it threatens our way of life because we need the U.S. dollar to stay valuable, right? And as I say that, I just can't help but think of how they just print money to send off to Ukraine to support that war, which is pretty much over with, right? I mean, Russia's won that. And I don't think Ukraine is going to come back, right? I mean, it seems like all the focus has now turned to Israel and that Russia-Ukraine war is almost an afterthought. So, I don't know. One thing that I know for sure is that the United States taxpayers cannot continue to fund wars, let alone in two different places. And, let's not even mention it. The third place in Taiwan, who we would be obligated to defend if China were to move in on them. And that is a difficult defense considering it's right off the coast, essentially, of China, and it's all the way across the Pacific Ocean for the United States. So, talking about an expensive war there. I just wanted to connect some dots here, maybe inform some people what Hezbollah is, and got the threat of Iran joining BRICS and the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia, all joining up with China and Russia, all to oppose, Western civilization. They're basically backing Hamas through Iran. I don't know. It's really just a concerning time. Everybody needs to be paying attention, I guess, to what's going on and be moving more towards being a little bit more self-sustainable and self-reliant, considering, if things do go bad, and the American dollar just crashes or something like that, we might go straight to another depression, right? If you found this video interesting, go ahead and click that like button, share the video, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next one.